Hello, welcome. My name is Melissa. I'm HealthWare's registered dietitian and personal trainer. Here we are at another one of our nutrition education classes. Today, this is our Heart Healthy Nutrition class. Today's topic is high blood pressure. We're talking about ways to use lifestyle to manage high blood pressure. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments during class. I'm happy to answer any questions I can. Let me know if you're here, say hi. Other than that, let's get going. I've got my show and tell sign, as I often do in these classes. I hope you'll be able to read it. I may need to angle my camera up just the tiniest bit. That'll do. All right, so lifestyle to manage high blood pressure. If you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure, you might be worried about taking the medications that often go along with that to help bring your blood pressure down. So lifestyle can play an important role in treating your high blood pressure, and it may help delay or reduce the need for medication, or for some people, avoid it completely. I will say there are some people that do need to take blood pressure medication, but there are lifestyle things that we can do to help it out as well. So I figure, why not try to do all the things that you can do, right? Rather than having to take a medication, which can have side effects that may not be something you want. So today, I feel like I'm a little bit crooked. Today, we're gonna talk about 10 lifestyle changes that you can do right now to help lower your blood pressure and keep it down, to help you manage that blood pressure. First, let's talk really quickly about the blood pressure numbers, just so we're all on the same page, so you know what they all mean. I have a chart here. I have to get it so you can actually see it though. Let me scooch around all of my things. This chart from the American Heart Association. Oh, that's not quite high enough. How about that? Almost. I'll scoot back a little. Maybe you can see that. Maybe. There's a bit of a reflection, isn't there? Okay, how about this? There we go. Excellent. So, this is a chart from the American Heart Association, and it lists the different blood pressure categories and what the numbers are that go along with each. So as you can see, the systolic number, which is the top number, that number, the systolic number is the top number when you have a blood pressure written out. And the diastolic, which is the one over here, the diastolic is the lower number. So you'll often hear 120 over 80. The 120 is your systolic and the 80 is your diastolic. Blood pressure is measured in millimeters of mercury, which we usually don't talk much about. It's a unit of measurement like inches or pounds. So we usually want to aim for our blood pressure to be less than 120 over 80, hopefully as you can see from this chart in that green section. High blood pressure, otherwise known as hypertension, is diagnosed when either the systolic number, the top number, is between 130 to 139, or if the diastolic number is between 80 and 90. Only one of those numbers has to be high, not both, in order to give a diagnosis of high blood pressure. There are two other categories above that first stage of hypertension, as you can see. So the first stage, or elevated really, so we've got normal, then elevated, and then I was talking about hypertension, high blood pressure, stage 1. Then we've got high blood pressure, stage 2, and then a hypertensive crisis. We do actually see a fair number of people that fall into this stage 2 category, unfortunately, and we don't want that. Our blood pressures do vary from day to day and with different activities that we do. So because of this, typically your doctor will take your blood pressure on 2 to 3 different occasions before officially diagnosing you with high blood pressure. Once they do that, once they diagnose you, then they often will start discussing the medication options. And that's where everybody starts getting very, very concerned. No one likes taking medications. And then they come see us because they don't want to take the medications. They want to do lifestyle changes instead, which is fine, which is great. So our mission today here in class is to discuss 10 different lifestyle changes that you can start working on right now in order to help lower your blood pressure, keep it down, and hopefully potentially avoid or decrease the medication need for high blood pressure. So first of all, this is where my show and tell now comes in. First of all, the first thing is weight management, something that I've been dealing with a lot in the healthcare office, especially with COVID. Weight management. I think you can read that. It's awfully small, but I think you can see that. So, losing excess weight and watching your waistline are very, very helpful for blood pressure management. Blood pressure often increases as weight increases. Being overweight can also cause disrupted breathing while you sleep, also called sleep apnea, which further raises your blood pressure. Weight loss is surprisingly one of the most effective ways, lifestyle changes ways for controlling blood pressure. Losing even a small amount of weight, if you're overweight or obese, can help reduce your blood pressure. In general, you may reduce your blood pressure by about 1 millimeter of mercury, or 1 point. We'll call them points, it's easier for me to say. 1 point with each kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds, that you lose. So 1 point for every 2.2 pounds. Besides shedding pounds, you generally should also keep an eye on your waistline. That's what we do in the office, is we measure everyone's waistline. No one likes that, but we do it anyways. Carrying too much weight around your midsection can put you at a greater risk for high blood pressure, among many other diseases. So even though no one likes us to measure around their belly button, we do it because it is an important screening tool. So in general, with that measurement, men are more at risk if their waist measurement is above 40 inches, women above 35 inches. The numbers do vary among ethnic groups, interestingly enough. So for example, the recommendation for Asian populations is actually a little bit lower for optimal health. I think I just saw that Molly said something. She said, 5 years ago today, I took my first blood pressure meds. Now I'm off blood pressure meds and lost 30 pounds. Oh, all thanks to healthware and learning how to eat healthier. Excellent. So yes, a real life example of weight loss, eating healthier, that has actually helped with blood pressure and getting off the medications. That's exciting. I know it's always really exciting when people get to stop taking a medication because they've improved their health in lifestyle ways. I think it's exciting, and I know that patients usually think it's exciting. Who wants to take medications? Not me. So that's great. Thanks for sharing, Molly. All right. I think that was all at that point. Oh, also weight management. If you don't know if you are overweight or obese or need to lose weight, come see me at HealthAware. I've been doing a lot of weight management lately, something that I feel very excited about, helping people with weight management. So come see me. I will get you tested on our machine and we can figure out a plan together. Yes. The next point is regular exercise. So exercising on a regular basis, consistently. So just to clarify, the guidelines of what regular exercise are: 150 minutes to 300 minutes. So at least minimum of 150 minutes per week of cardio exercise. Usually you'll hear people say 30 minutes on 5 days a week. That's kind of where that comes from. That can help lower your blood pressure 5 to 8 points if you have high blood pressure. So that is consistent exercise. It's important to do it regularly, do it consistently each week, because if you stop exercising, your blood pressure can go back up. If you have elevated blood pressure, so that was the category, the one just above normal, I'll show you. Elevated, that yellow line, elevated blood pressure, so if your systolic is 120 to 190, exercise can help you avoid developing hypertension from going into that next stage of actual diagnosis of hypertension. If you already have hypertension diagnosed, high blood pressure, regular physical exercise can bring down your blood pressure to safer levels. Some examples, so that recommendation of exercise, aerobic exercise. Some examples of that would be walking, jogging, cycling, so a bike, cycling, swimming, dancing, any of those aerobic exercises that are increasing our heart rate, making us sweaty, making our breathing increase. You can also try higher intensity exercises too. Higher intensity interval training, so that is going up and down with the intensity level, getting that heart rate up in short bursts and then letting it come back down. Strength training is also great exercise that can help reduce blood pressure. Everybody should be aiming to include strength training exercises at least 2 days per week, which a lot of people don't accomplish. So it is the recommended amount, at least 2 days a week, all muscle groups. If you do have diagnosed high blood pressure though, and you don't currently exercise at all, it is important to talk with your doctor, make sure that you are cleared to start into an exercise program, and then start off slowly. I like to tell people that I don't expect everyone to go right out and start exercising intensely for 30 to 60 minutes every day. No, starting off slowly is better than not exercising at all, and that's what the recommended way is. Ease yourself into it, get your body used to it, and increase over time. The next point, I am a dietitian, otherwise I would not have a job if we all followed this one. So eating a healthy diet, much easier said than done for pretty much everybody, right? Even myself. Eating a diet that's rich in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, and low-fat dairy products, if you so choose to eat dairy, and a diet that's low in saturated fat and cholesterol. All of those elements of a healthy diet can help lower your blood pressure up to 11 points, possibly more. These are just numbers that the American Heart Association has in their research, but it can lower your blood pressure if you do have high blood pressure. The eating plan that I just kind of described is known as DASH, the DASH diet, which you may have heard of, Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. It is an established diet that is meant to help lower and manage blood pressure. So of course, it isn't easy to change eating habits. Of course, as I said, I wouldn't have a job if it was easy to manage our eating. So a few tips just to get you started if you're unfamiliar with healthy eating. Keeping a food diary. This is something I've been telling people a lot lately because I find it to be so helpful. Writing down what you eat, even just for a week, can really bring a lot of awareness and shed some very surprising light on your true eating habits. Monitor what you eat, how much, when, why, how you're feeling. This can also all help with weight loss. Not just helping you eat healthier, but helping you manage your weight as well. Another easy tip is to be a smart shopper. Read the food labels when you're out shopping and stick to your healthy eating plan when you're dining out too. So in restaurants, which have reopened for all of us for better or worse, right? So be a smart shopper, be a smart patron in a restaurant. Number 4 kind of goes along with what we're just talking about right now. So reducing your salt, your sodium intake. Even a small reduction in the amount of sodium in your diet can improve your heart health and reduce high blood pressure 5 to 6 points. Again, may even be more than that if you have high blood pressure. The effect of sodium intake on blood pressure varies among different groups of people. So some people can be way more impacted than others. In general, we want to limit our sodium to about 2,300 milligrams a day or less. That's the general population, right? Most people who don't have high blood pressure have no idea how much sodium they're eating. We don't really pay attention to it. So if you do have high blood pressure, or if you're concerned, if your blood pressure is sort of trending in that way, it is important to be very conscious of how much sodium you are eating. A lower sodium intake, about 1,500 milligrams per day, is actually more ideal for adults, especially if you're in this potential or diagnosed high blood pressure realm. Just for reference, 1 teaspoon of regular salt, table salt, 1 teaspoon has 2,300 milligrams of sodium in it, which is a lot of sodium. And half a cup of refried beans tends to have somewhere in that 400 to 500 milligram of sodium range as well. So the foods that we eat can have tons of sodium in them, so it's very important to be mindful of the amounts. I do teach an entire class on sodium here in the Heart Healthy Nutrition class, but here's a few quick tips just to get you started on lowering sodium intake. Like I mentioned in the previous tip, read the food labels. If possible, choose the lower sodium versions of foods and beverages, like canned beans, choosing the lower sodium version of that. Another tip is to eat fewer processed foods. Very little sodium occurs naturally in foods. Most sodium is added during processing and preserving. So fresher whole foods are going to have less sodium in general. Another one is to flavor your food with something other than salt. Like I said, 1 teaspoon has 2,300 milligrams of salt in it, which is a lot. So using spices to flavor your food is a great way to add flavor without sodium. And then finally, ease into it. If you don't feel that you can drastically reduce your sodium in your diet, because it is a big change, do it gradually. It may take a few weeks, but your taste buds will actually adjust over time. They do. Before I continue on, I'm gonna grab. I'm getting tired of standing. I'm standing to teach and I'm getting tired of standing. So I'm gonna sit down here with you guys. There we go. And I'm gonna tilt my camera up so you can still read. Excellent. Sometimes you just get tired, you know? There we go. All right. Ah, so much better. Now I'm gonna scoot a little, there we go. All right. The next point, oh, I guess I have to stand up to do this. The next point, number 5, is to limit your alcohol intake. Alcohol can be both good and bad for your health. There are studies that say drinking alcohol in moderation, which is 1 drink a day for women, 2 drinks a day for men, that you can potentially lower your blood pressure by about 4 points. 1 drink, just to clarify, 1 drink is the equivalent of 12 ounces of beer or 5 ounces of wine, which is very surprising to many people, or 1.5 ounces of an 80 proof liquor. But the protective effects of alcohol is lost if you drink too much alcohol. Drinking more than moderate amounts of alcohol can actually raise your blood pressure by several points. It can also reduce the effectiveness of blood pressure medications. Not to mention, alcohol adds extra calories, making it more difficult to manage weight. I generally recommend people don't drink alcohol if you can tolerate that, but I know it is part of a lot of social activities. So it's not the end of the world, but it does need to be done in moderation. The next point is to quit smoking. I should have brought water in here with me. I feel like it's a dry day and I'm running out of saliva. I don't have any water in here. Anyway, no smoking is our next point. We're on point number 6. We're getting there. So I can't stress this one enough. Each cigarette that you smoke increases your blood pressure for many minutes after you finish. Stopping smoking can help your blood pressure return to normal. Quitting smoking can reduce your risk of heart disease and improve your overall health. Smoking is not good for us. That is the end. So if you do smoke, I do recommend trying to quit, reaching out for help to quit smoking. Yes. The next point is caffeine. Reducing your intake of caffeine. The role that caffeine plays in blood pressure is still debated. Caffeine can raise our blood pressure up to 10 points in people who rarely consume it. But people who drink coffee regularly may experience little or no effect on their blood pressure. Although the long-term effects of caffeine on blood pressure aren't totally clear, it's possible that blood pressure may increase. So to see if caffeine actually does impact your blood pressure, check your blood pressure within 30 minutes drinking a caffeinated beverage. If your blood pressure increases by 5 to 10 points, then you may be sensitive. Check it before and then check it after. And if it is raised, then you may be sensitive to caffeine. And in that case, it may be worth decreasing or stopping your intake of caffeine to help out your blood pressure. I'm gonna grab water. Hold on a second. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I will be right back, I promise. Grabbing my water. Okay, I'm back. That was quick. There we go. It's a little bit easier when we're all together in class, and it's not so weird when I get water. So, here we go. Next one is to manage your stress. Easier said than done, I know, but we are finding more and more that chronic stress contributes to a ton of medical conditions, including high blood pressure. More research is needed in this area, but as we all probably can sense, stress affects us and affects our health in many ways. Occasional stress can also contribute to high blood pressure, so those more acute times when you have stress. So especially if you react to stress by eating unhealthy foods or drinking alcohol or smoking, some of those habits we just talked about. So take some time to think about what causes you to feel stressed, whether it's work, family, finances, illnesses, whatever it is. Once you know what's causing your stress, then consider how you can reduce or eliminate some of those stressors. If you can't eliminate all of your stressors, which most of us cannot, you can at least try coming up with ways that are healthy to cope with them. So some ways, some suggestions: changing your expectations. So for example, plan your day and focus on your priorities. Avoid trying to do too much and learn to say no to things. Understand that there are some things you can't change, you can't control, which is very hard for me, but you can focus on how you react to them. Next is to focus on issues that you can control and make plans to solve those issues. If you're having an issue at work, try talking to your manager or your coworker about it. If you're having a conflict with your kids or your spouse, take steps to resolve that. Try to focus on those things that you can control and you can improve. Another point is to avoid stress triggers. Once you identify those things that trigger your stress, then you can do your best to avoid them, or I know a lot of us can't avoid every stress, but some things we can avoid. So for example, if in rush hour traffic on the way to work, if that causes you stress, maybe trying to leave earlier in the morning or take public transportation, which not all of us have the best access to right now, but or if it's with people, avoiding the people that cause you a huge amount of stress. I know we can all probably think of a friend or two that really causes us a lot of stress, and sometimes taking some time to avoid those stressful things is helpful. And it is a little bit easier with COVID since we all are away from people a little bit more. So reducing some of the relational stress can be a little bit easier right now. Another thing is to make time to relax and to do activities that you actually enjoy. Take time each day to sit quietly and breathe deeply. Make time for enjoyable activities and hobbies within your schedule, even if it's a few minutes, right? Taking a walk, cooking, volunteering, that may be more than just a few minutes. But make time for those things that you enjoy and that help you relax. And then finally, practicing gratitude, expressing gratitude to others, to yourself, to family, whatever it is, that can help reduce stress. Gratitude. I think I've said that in different classes before. Yes, gratitude is a very powerful thing for us. All right, number 9, moving on. Truly, stress management could be an entire series of classes. Stress management is huge and it is a very, very complex issue. There's stress and depression and anxiety. They're all kind of wrapped into one. So I know it's easy for me to just say a few quick tips, but it is more of a lifelong endeavor to manage stress. I do recognize that, yes. But back to our high blood pressure. Number 9 is to monitor your blood pressure at home and to make sure you do see your doctor regularly. Home monitoring can help you keep tabs on your blood pressure and make certain that your lifestyle changes are actually working, and then alert you and your doctor to any potential health complications. So blood pressure monitors are available widely and without prescription. You can get them pretty much anywhere these days. Amazon, Target, CVS, all those places. If you never check your blood pressure at home, it can be very difficult to know if any of the lifestyle changes you're making are actually making a difference. I know that one of the blood pressure monitors that we seem to have good results with, so people bring their blood pressure monitors into the HealthWare office, and one brand is Omron, I believe it is, Omron, Omron. That's one brand that seems to be pretty much right on par with when we check blood pressures manually with the stethoscope. That's a good brand. I want to say they might be somewhere in the $80 to $100. I know there are way less expensive versions, way less expensive brands, but I know the Omron seems to be a very reliable one. So also in this, like I said, checking in with your doctor. Regular visits with your doctor are very important for controlling your high blood pressure if you do indeed have high blood pressure diagnosed. If it's well controlled, check with your doctor to see how often you actually need to be checking your blood pressure at home. Often it's kind of an everyday thing that it's recommended to check blood pressure. Your doctor may suggest doing it that often, more often, less often, depending on your own situation. But every day, there's no harm in checking it every day. Try to do it at the same time of day though. If you're taking it at different times of day, you are definitely going to have different blood pressure readings. The final point is, I ran out of paper. There we go. Get support if you need it, which most of us do need support in some way. So supportive family and friends can help improve your health. They can encourage you to take care of yourself more, remembering to check that blood pressure and all that. They can drive you to the doctor's office if you need to have your blood pressure checked, or they can help start an exercise program with you, be your exercise buddy, and encourage you to eat healthy and eat less salt and do all these all these lifestyle things that can help reduce your blood pressure. Having that buddy, that friend, the family member is really helpful for a lot of people. It's much harder to do things on our own a lot of the time. If you feel that you need support beyond just a family member and friend, you can consider joining a support group. I think that there are a lot of probably online options these days. Just because of COVID, everything's online, which makes things a lot more convenient for us. So if you feel that you need that extra support, there are support groups like that. They can put you in touch with people that have the similar issues as you, and that you're all working towards some of these lifestyle changes at the same time. And that similarity and connection can really help give you an emotional boost and a mental boost that you need to help with some of the lifestyle changes. So, blood pressure is a very different, it's different for every person. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody has different factors that may impact them more than others. And of course, some of these may be easier for others than you may find it to be. But managing high blood pressure can be impacted by lifestyle. Just because your doctor tells you to take the medication doesn't mean it's the end of the world, that you can never ever help with anything in your lifestyle. No, it's still important to do some of these lifestyle changes to help reduce or perhaps eliminate the medication altogether, and to just make you more healthy overall. All of these things are good for our health beyond just blood pressure. So, try out a few of these if you're struggling with maybe elevated blood pressure a little bit. See how they go. Weight management, again, is a huge one. Salt intake also can be very, very impactful. And stress. Those ones are all huge. I know that probably all of us have had times where we're like, I am stressed and I can almost feel my blood pressure is higher. So, really being conscious of all these ways that we can improve our blood pressure, and then taking action to actually put those into place. That's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something. I need to remember it's nice to sit when I teach class. I've been standing the last couple classes, and it's kind of nice to sit here and talk to you guys. So anyway, I will see you all next time for this Heart Healthy Nutrition class next month. I think September. Is September? Yes. September's class, I think it'll be the 1st. That's the 1st of September. So I will see you all then. Next week, I'll be back for a Carb Smart class. So until then, happy Wednesday or whatever day you're watching this class. And I'll see you next time. Bye.